Welcome to your Positivity Show. I'm Tanya Lacy, and I'm absolutely delighted to be introducing to you someone that I met on my personal and business development journey. And we met actually in Thailand when we were studying stagecraft. And I have observed this person go from strength to strength with their brand building and the way they add value in many places around the world, from the UK to Asia and back again. Please welcome to my community, the one and only Nilesh, my success coach. Nilesh, welcome Nilesh to the program.
Hi, Tanya. Thank you for having me. And first of all, I want to thank you for creating this positive and positivity, because I can see the value it is adding to the world with that positivity. And second thing, for your special audience, I want them to listen this session carefully, because in today's session, especially for your audience, I'm going to share with them something called as power confidence model, which will help them to understand what is self confidence and how to boost the self confidence, and what they can do to unleash the power of self confidence. So definitely helping them with the positivity.
Amazing. Thank you so much. And it's very early where you are, so I really appreciate it. So where are you today, Nilesh?
Today we are in London, UK.
Okay, great.
And it's like early morning, 6:30 in the morning.
I really appreciate you doing this and making space in your schedule. I really do. So Nilesh, let's talk about confidence for business, and let's talk about it for life. So on your journey, tell us a little bit about what you've discovered as a foundation, because I know that the journey of the entrepreneur, it's a challenging one. And a lot of people, they leave the corporate life.
Yes.
And it's quite surprising. So share with us a little bit about your confidence model.
Yes. What happens, it doesn't matter you are in personal life or a business life or anything you do in your life. Confidence is very, 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 very important. There's no second doubt about that. What happens is when we are learning or growing in our life, we always say like that, no, somebody has a self-confidence, somebody does not have a self-confidence. So on my journey of entrepreneurship or in general in life, uh, even I was feeling that, sometimes I feel there are ups and downs in my self-confidence, and there are certain occasions where I feel I should have a self-confidence. And I wanted to really understand, like any other entrepreneur wants to figure out what is the problem, and then they look for solutions. It started with me like that. I was thinking, what is exactly causing the self-confidence to go up and down? How can somebody stay confident, like, most part of the time? That's where I started learning. And I'm glad that I got those questions, because when you get the questions, you look for the answers. And I started looking for the answers and came up with something very, very interesting. And I put together that thing in a model called as power confidence model. So as we go along, I'm going to share with you, what exactly this power confidence model, and what exactly stops our self confidence. Because and this is a strange thing about self confidence. The self confidence you need is already with you. Now we don't know that. Most of the people think, okay, the self confidence, they comes and goes, and there's many things are happening. But self confidence we need is already with us. Then the question remains, then why do we feel that there are ups and downs in the self confidence? So that's where this model helps.
Okay.
So let me give you an example, Tanya.
Okay.
Imagine this, you're driving a car. I believe you drive a car, right?
Yeah, I keep seeing your videos.
Yeah, I keep seeing your videos.
That E300.
Yeah, very, very, very good. Plus, I've seen many of the
car.
videos of that as well. So imagine you're driving a car. It's a night time, and you're passing through a jungle, somewhere very dark and dense. And it's night time. You're driving, and you're alone. And as you go along, something happened. Your car breaks down for some other reason. We don't know what is the reason, but your car breaks down. Now you look forward, look back. There is no car in front of you, behind you, and there is no one else. It's completely dark. And then you reach to your phone to see, is there anyone you can call for help? And you see the mobile signal is not there, so you can't even call someone for help. So now you wait some time for in the car, and you slowly open the door, come out, just to see, is there additional help you can get. Now as you look around, you see there is nothing to help, but somewhere far away you see a small maybe a place where there is a light on, maybe a house, and that is your only hope for help. Now imagine that you started walking towards that light, and all of a sudden you see an angry tiger. Okay.
Okay.
Now now think about what will happen to your self confidence at that moment. Okay. Now exact same story with a slight change. Now you're driving in the car, night time, going in a jungle, and your car breaks down. There's nobody in front of you, nobody behind you. There's no telephone signal. To reach for help, you open the car door, you come out, and you see a light, and you think, okay, maybe that is my only hope for help. So you start walking towards that light, and as you're walking towards the light, you see a tortoise. Now see what. Now think about this. What will happen to your self confidence? Now you see, in the first case, when there is a tiger, we feel okay, the self confidence will suddenly go down. But in the second case, when there is a tortoise, there is nothing much happening to our self confidence. So what exactly happens? So self-confidence we need is already with us, but the situation, the things are happening uh, around
Around
us.
us.
Exactly. That makes
Okay.
us feel. And the word is feel, Tanya. Feel that we don't have a self-confidence.
Yeah,
So
so it's a feeling. It's a feeling that we
exactly,
don't have the self-confidence. It's not actually the
exactly,
truth.
exactly.
Okay.
And very
Good
good thing, as you
distinction,
said.
Nilesh. Good distinction.
Exactly. And one more thing I like to add. So self-confidence you need is already with you. But the reason we feel there are ups and downs because along with the self-confidence, there are other things starts to coexist. And where our focus, as you know, where focus goes, energy flows. We all know that. Just like your positivity, where we focus on positivity, we start to see more positive things. So just like that, where focus goes, energy flows.
Follows. Yeah.
So when people, instead of self-confidence, they look at the other things which coexist. Suddenly they feel there is a less. They have less self-confidence.
Yeah, fantastic. So let's talk about environment and environment being stronger than will. So, what can people do, Nilesh? Is there something, a mechanism in your model to help people realize that, it's the environment and the reactions that they have, the feelings? What can people do to control the feeling and the emotion?
Tanya, I must say this is a very good question. Imagine you're going to a doctor and a doctor is trying to treat you for a wrong disease. So if you figure out what is the correct disease, then we can treat them rightly. So exactly the question you asked, now what people can do to identify what is exactly causing them to lower down their self-confidence. So when I was studying this self-confidence in my model as well, I realized that I'm not sure whether you can see.
Oh yeah, very good, and a very good preparation. Thank you.
Yes. So if you see, there is a hot air balloon.
Yes.
And to the balloon at the bottom, there is a self-confidence.
Yes.
So there are 6 things those hold our self-confidence back. And that is a
Yes.
part of the environment that you were asking.
Okay.
Okay. Now, I will reveal those 6 things. The number one thing is belief.
Okay.
Many people have the beliefs inside them that they are not good enough, or
Yes.
before starting something, they can't do some things, or they can't start a business, or they can't lead a bigger team, many sort of things. So those beliefs makes them feel, again the word is feel, that they
Feeling.
don't have a self-confidence. So it's the
Yes.
belief which is holding their self-confidence back.
Yes. So the belief about their capability
Exactly.
prevents or creates and causes the feeling or the reaction, which causes them to not have confidence or not have the
100%
self. So
right,
their
Tanya.
balloon of confidence can drop.
Exactly.
Okay. Good.
100% right.
Got
100%
it.
right.
Okay.
Now the second thing is critics.
Okay.
There are many times we have certain people or certain team members or certain colleagues, they critique us. They saying you're not good enough, or you're not doing things right, or they try to find the mistakes in you. So that is the critics thing. And when we focus on the critic, we feel inside us that our self-confidence is going down. So that is the second
Great.
thing.
So that's an external, once again, external opinion, an
Exactly.
external critique. But that's why they're called the critics, because they're critical.
Exactly.
Okay,
And so,
very
so that's
good.
good and bad both in that. But when
Yes,
you only focus on
the negative.
somebody, exactly,
Yeah,
exactly,
okay. Good.
exactly.
Yeah. What else, Nilesh?
The third thing in that is the doubt. Now certain times in our life we have certain doubts, whether the business which I'm going to start, whether it will work or not, whether the sales call that I'm going to make, whether that will be successful or not. So those doubts And again, when those doubts come to our head,
Mm-hmm.
our focus is shifting to those doubts, not to the
Mm-hmm.
self-confidence.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the third anchor, which is holding the balloon back.
Very good. So can I just interject here and talk about,
Of course.
I have a model too. Mine's an
Mm-hmm.
elevator.
Oh,
However,
good.
and I talk about, you know, however, I want people to hear your model. I just am aligning with this to suggest that fear, uncertainty, and doubt become a part of the holding down. And
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. And, you know, they cause and create the feelings. So very, very good.
Very true.
Okay,
Very true.
great. Okay, what else? What else, Nilesh?
Yes. So as we move on, the fourth thing we have is the dependencies.
Okay.
Now imagine you are a leader and you have team members working with you. Now many times a leader may not feel confident because
Mm-hmm.
certain tasks are dependent on his team.
Mm-hmm.
So wherever we have dependencies and when we are not sure about the capability of our teams, we feel as a leader that we don't have self-confidence.
There's that word
So that,
again. Feel.
say again.
There's that
Feel,
word
yeah.
again. Feel, right?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Feel, yeah. So the dependency is another thing which holds the self-confidence back.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Now after the dependency, there is something called as fear. Now fear is something we all of us have some fears. Some people have fear of height, fear
Yes.
of public speaking, or so many other things. So again, fear is the thing which holds the self-confidence back.
Mm-hmm. Okay, because
Right.
it causes more feelings as well.
Exactly. Exactly.
Mm.
And the last is the memories.
Mm.
Now, everyone has memories, good
Mm-hmm.
memories, bad memories. But whenever the thought in our mind come about the memories,
Mm-hmm.
and especially they're the bad ones, we
Mm-hmm.
suddenly focus more on the memories and we feel the self-confidence is coming down.
Mm.
So these are the six things. I repeat just for the
Recap.
audience.
Yeah.
Yeah, just for the recap.
Mm-hmm.
So the six things which hold the self-confidence back are beliefs,
Beliefs. Yeah.
critics,
Mm-hmm.
then doubts,
Mm-hmm.
and dependencies,
Mm-hmm.
fear,
Mm-hmm.
and memories.
Memories.
So just to so
Very
this is
good.
these are the six anchor they're holding the self confidence back.
Very good. Now, what holds self-confidence up, Nilesh?
Oh, very good question, because that's where we should be looking at, right?
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
So, because
Now,
interestingly, you know, I know you have a baby, right? So if the baby's
yeah,
crying, we get the child to look up. And I
exactly.
believe that as human beings, when instead of looking down when we're feeling down, we neutralize ourselves, we release these things, and now we have to look up.
Exactly.
So this is now where we put our vision. You know, what we focus on expands. Where our focus is, energy goes. And
Exactly.
so I'm very interested in what people can focus on to grow or up level or uplift their
Yes.
self-confidence, Nilesh.
Very good. So there are two things.
Okay.
As I mentioned that, we have this balloon of self-confidence and
Mm-hmm.
certain things are holding it back.
Mm-hmm.
So very first thing, we have to remove those anchors, which is holding us back.
Okay.
And the second thing is there is something where we have to focus, where we want the balloon to go.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So let's talk about the first thing.
Mm-hmm.
How to remove those anchors.
Okay.
So each of the six things, there are certain things we can do to remove those anchors.
Mm-hmm.
And now many times what happens, it's a six, one of those six things or combination of these things
Mm-hmm.
holds the self confidence back.
Mm-hmm.
And many people don't know that it's really the other things though that is causing them to lower their self confidence.
Mm-hmm.
So let me talk you through about what people can do
Mm-hmm.
to remove those anchors
Okay.
and what they can do to lift their balloon.
Okay.
So first thing, we had the first anchor as belief. But as you know, beliefs are just the thoughts. We keep saying those thoughts again and again, and they become our beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
So the moment as your positivity is the best thing, Tanya, I can tell you. The moment you focus on positive things, we start to all the negative beliefs, you can replace those with positive things. And when you tell those things to your mind, automatically the mind will focus on positive things.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So the best thing to remove the negative beliefs is the focus on positivity.
I talk about focusing on what's working because sometimes you do have a bad day or things around you can happen, but instead of attaching to those and making meaning around those things, you
Very
just
true.
focus on what is working rather than what's not
Exactly.
working. We all have things that, you
Very
know,
true.
don't work. So we've got to focus on what is working within the world that we're in that moment. And it's about the
Very,
emphasis, yeah?
very true. Because there might be a small window of opportunity where it can lead us to a bigger success. But in that moments of negativity, we might not be looking at that window of opportunity.
No. Like
Exactly.
even watching the news or, focusing on hearing the news, and it can pop the balloon or hold us down. So yeah, okay. So positivity, you were saying, focus on a
Yes.
positive thought or
Yes.
positive thing.
So
Yeah.
so that will
Okay.
help them remove the anchor of beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
Second thing is critics. Now, as you know, critics have two things. There are certain people, they're really good in your life. They try to critique you, but they might want to help you upgrade yourself.
Okay.
So look at what exactly they're trying to say. If it is something that you can take to improve yourself, go ahead and take it. But there are certain people that they only want to critique you for no reason. That the only thing you can do is ignore them, because you will spend lots and lots of energy, to correct them. And we don't want to do that. It's the more focus you put on getting the thing stuff right, that's where you should be focusing on.
Can I jump in here with something? And
Of
this is
course, yeah.
about, thank you. This is about, say in a workplace, we talk a lot about, giving feedback, and
True, very
a
true.
lot of people resist feedback because any kind of feedback, they interpret it as a criticism, because of when they grew up, they had negative memories of criticism. And
Yes,
so what you're doing is mentally preparing people and saying you're getting being critiqued is actually an opportunity to up level and upgrade. Now,
exactly.
what I talk about, if you're a leader or you're someone who has a team and you want to give feedback, it's sometimes you can say a very hard thing, but you say it in a soft way and you do it with respect. And you
Yes,
set the context where you say, look, can I give you some feedback? It's like you
yes,
talking to me
exactly.
about my book and saying, look, Tanya, your theme and everything's really cohesive, and I really feel that this book is the good timing. And if I was negative or afraid of being criticized, I can't hear you, and I can't hear that opportunity to activate
Exactly,
and to up level. So
exactly.
absolutely. So some people have grown up in environments where they have very critical parents or critical teachers, and so
Yes.
anything that is any form of criticism, they're completely defensive.
Yeah, yeah. It changes their persona.
Oh yeah, affects
Right,
them.
right.
Yeah.
No, that's good. No, very
Mm.
true.
Mm.
Now, moving on, the third things, the doubts.
Mm.
uh, Many times we have doubts,
Mm-hmm.
and I was studying what is the best way to deal with the doubts. And
Mm-hmm.
what I realized that the best way to deal with any doubt is to taste that.
Mm-hmm. Test
By
it.
taste, yeah, taste it. Because if you keep thinking whether you want to start a business or not, instead of just keep thinking and having lots and lots of doubts, why don't you start one? Because that will at least tell you whether what's working, what's not working. Otherwise, people spend many, writing, not writing, I'll say, many entrepreneurs, they want to launch a product, and they keep thinking which product they should launch. They keep having the doubts. They keep studying, and then the best thing I will say, go ahead and try it with the market. They will give the right feedback. So instead of you thinking what is work, what will work and what will not,
The
just go ahead
market
and
will
try.
dictate. Yeah.
Exactly, and
Very
that's the best
interesting.
thing.
However, if you're someone who's scared of being criticized, you won't move to action because you don't want to be criticized. So you're going to go
True.
with your own thing, and you'll keep doubting yourself because you've got no feedback, but you won't get the feedback
Exactly,
because
until you're
sorry.
not trying that. Very true.
Yeah,
So
won't
the best way
try it.
to, yeah, exactly, and try and see. Worst case, you will fail, but that is a feedback
Mm,
that something is not working. That is a feedback. So you
yes.
go ahead and change that.
Mm,
So, but people are not willing to have that feedback. The once moment you have a feedback, then
mm.
you can always improve on that.
Yes, that's it. Very good. Very good. I like your structure. And this is your engineering background coming out, which is really
I think
fantastic.
maybe I thought so.
Yeah, I think
Yes.
so.
Next thing is the dependencies.
Mm,
Now, many occasions, when you look at certain aspects of our life, we can
mm,
remove those dependencies.
mm-hmm,
So if you can remove, please remove. So that will, because the more in control you are, the more confident you feel.
mm-hmm,
But certain occasions, you have to depend on your team
mm-hmm,
to perform certain tasks for you.
Mm-hmm.
And when you are heading a big corporate structure organization, you have to work with teams. So in that case, to have the self confidence, you have to put together a structure, which will put a control on the systems,
Mm-hmm.
like majors or the weekly meetings or progress meetings, something like that. But the purpose of those meetings is to get the control on the things, because if you're not putting up the control, you never know where the things are going to. So these are the ways you can deal with the dependencies.
Great. And everything you're talking about there are sort of inserted feedback mechanisms that give you the controllables, which can give you the deliverables around those people you are dependent on. And so you are in control because
Exactly.
you've set it up. You've set the system up.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Very
Exactly,
good.
exactly. And we have to set it up, because ultimately the goal is to have a success for you and the organization.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it's very good to have those control measures in place, so that the less are the dependencies, or even though there are dependencies and you are controlling those dependencies, there is a you feel the self confidence is up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Very good.
Okay. Yes. And moving on to fear.
Mm.
Now every one of us have fear, so there's no doubt. When I started, I had a fear of public speaking. Even my background is not English, so English was not my first language. So uh, and plus the native language which I have is, the region changes, the dialect changes, so
Okay.
those things used to happen. So I had to speak fear of speaking English as well, fear of speaking different languages as well. So everyone has some fear. But the thing is, many times when we think about fear, we focus on the fear.
Mm-hmm.
But when you look deeply, there is something else. There's something else that is the root cause of the fear.
Yes.
For example, many people have fear of darkness. Okay, and they keep saying, I have fear of darkness. But the root cause is not the darkness. The root cause is what will happen to them in the darkness.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right. So the fear is not darkness, and they keep telling their mind it's a darkness that is a fear. It's not the darkness, it's what will happen to them in the darkness. The moment you start controlling the root cause, what will happen to them in the darkness, how can they be safe, the fear will go away.
Mm-hmm.
Or a fear of heights. People have fear of height. What will happen to them? So it's not fear of height, it's a fear of what will happen to them when they fell down.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right. Now those people who have fear of height, I can still see them now flying in the aeroplane. They're flying like 30,000 feet high. It's so exactly. It's not fear of height. It's what will happen to them when they will fall down. And when in an aeroplane, they are in control environment, tightly buckled up with their seats, so they feel safe. So whenever you think about any of the fear, think about what is the root cause and work on the root cause. So that root cause will directly tell you what to look after, instead of just saying that you have this fear.
Very good,
Okay.
Nilesh.
Yes. And coming up to the last point, that is the memories. Every one of us have some memories, good memories and bad memories. And the memories, as you know, they are stored in our brain with those neuron structures. So, uh, as you see, the moment we keep firing those neurons, the same memories will come to you again and again. So the only way to change those, is to replace those negative memories with the positive ones. So now, in certain occasions, we deal with the people. So in that only case, the only thing you have to do is focus on creating the positive memories with those people, or anything bad experiences you had with certain type of activities. We for example, one of my colleague, he was running a marketing campaign, and he had a like a terrible failure in that marketing campaign, and he was not sure whether he should be running similar sort of marketing campaign again, because he had those memories about that campaign.
Last time, because people are
Yeah,
always
exactly.
worried about what happened last time instead of
Exactly.
what's
Exactly.
happening now.
Now, and as you'll see that the things are changing, the people are changing, the environment is changing, economy is changing, time is changing, so the factors are keep on changing. So what the things which did not work in the past, they might work now.
Yes.
So you just have to try it.
Yeah, that's great.
Right.
Very good.
I'll tell you a very simple example. This was when I finished my engineering, and I was applying for the job, and I applied for a company, and I did not get selected for that company. Then then I started looking for other companies, but this was company in my priority list. I really want to work for this company when I was starting my career. So after 6 to 8 months, I applied for the company, and I got the job. Do you know why? The HR person had changed.
Yeah, new change, new change.
Yeah, exactly. So I means the people keep on changing, the situation keeps on changing, economy keep on changing. So you can't just relate everything the past to the now, because
Very, very
many things.
great perspective, Nilesh. That's really good because, it's one thing I say to people too is that, well, just because something happened in the past doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen again because you're in different
Exactly,
circumstances.
exactly,
So
exactly,
that's great.
exactly,
Great example. Great
exactly.
example.
Now these things will help us to, those anchors I'm telling you. So those things
Mm.
will help you to remove those anchors.
Mm-hmm.
Now the second thing, if you can see here,
Yes, reasons.
reasons. So that is the
Mm.
thing that will help you boost your self confidence.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now, what do you mean by that? Reasons means it can be your bigger goals or bigger dreams or passion. The moment you have stronger goals, bigger goals, you feel that you have to come out of your comfort zone and do something for that, and you
Mm-hmm.
feel suddenly you feel a lot of confidence is coming to you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like somebody is running for Olympics. There is a big gain out of that. No, he can win the Olympic gold medal. There is a fame and everything associated with that. So people like work hard for 4 years just to run that 100 meters.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens? The bigger goal that drives them to take those actions.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So the
Yeah.
moment you keep your goals bigger, you suddenly feel there is some energy, hidden energy, some untapped potential will suddenly come up, and you feel that you suddenly start focusing on those things, achieving the big goals, and your self confidence will show up. So
Absolutely. That's great. And also, just with that, because you've actually worked on freeing the holdbacks, there's another level of energy. So now you're
exactly,
even more focused and you can propel there faster.
very true, Tanya. Very true. I think you got exactly right.
This is our world, Nilesh. I hope I have. I'm a 22-year overnight success. I've been doing this for 22 years.
Exactly,
I
and
love
and that help.
stuff.
Exactly, and as you see, when you look back to your career at 22 years, you see a pattern, and those patterns make you come up with certain strategies. And obviously when you think about positivity, say about positivity, or your leadership programs, I believe all those things, maybe certain things which did not work you in the past, those things have told you certain things, and that is basically a very good framework for the leadership programs or the leaders or organization you're talking with, to
Yeah,
help them progress faster. So yeah,
yeah, it's great.
very true.
So tell me then about your the way you're applying this model. So I know that you've got lots of online contact that you're doing, and you've written many books, and you're doing seminars. Tell me about your journey with the seminars. I'm interested in where if it ties into the model. Um, you're teaching these models, and you've been since I saw you. I mean, where have you been running your events?
Uh, Even though I'm in the UK, I'm mainly focused on coaching and consulting.
Yes.
And for the training, I focus on India market.
Okay.
Now, what's happening is, as you see, I had a fear of public speaking,
Okay.
honestly saying.
Mm.
And I was comfortable with the coaching and consulting because it's one to one, or maybe one to like three people, four people. But training was the bigger, it's going out of comfort zone for me.
Mm-hmm,
So
mm-hmm.
that's where I started learning about my self confidence model, and that told me that exactly I don't have fear of public speaking. I really have a fear of whether my structure will be right or not, and that is causing me feel that I don't have
With
self
your
confidence in
structure,
public speaking.
sorry, with
Structure
your
of the talk,
the structure of
structure
the
of the talk.
talk. Oh, your structure's
Yeah,
great.
no, no. I
Structure's
used to feel
great.
that
I
initially
know,
that
but
I don't have
now it's
the
great. Yeah,
yeah.
that's what you
And
worked
then
on.
when I focused exactly, so that's what I worked on, and then suddenly I got that confidence. Okay, I got the structure right. I know what I'm speaking. I know what is the outcome I want to achieve,
Mm-hmm.
and that's how I applied that in my training model.
Great.
So now anything, many times I have to make a new sales call, and I feel the fear or feel the doubt, but I use my model on my own. Like if there is a doubt, the best thing is to test it instead of me thinking whether this will work or not. Just go ahead and try it. Many times I don't get success, but that's fine because that's brings me out of my comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
uh, that's it. I just use it for myself,
Yeah,
and
it's
whenever I share
great.
with the people, then I realize that many people think that they don't have a self confidence and they hold themselves back. Now after learning this model, people are now exactly going ahead and thinking what exactly is stopping them. Just like a doctor, as I mentioned earlier, they're finding out what exactly is the disease so that they can treat the right disease. and this has been helpful to many people in my coaching community or training community. So that people are now, instead of thinking about self confidence, they're thinking about what is that is holding that self confidence. And once they remove that anchor, they see suddenly a burst of self confidence coming to them.
Amazing. Nilesh, what's the vision for your business? Like I was just saying, are you licensing that model into India, and then other people are teaching and training that, or how are you running your things now? Are you doing more online? I'm doing a lot more online now, and I'm helping other people get their stuff online, as well as my speaking, training, coaching, all that stuff. And I'm in 3 markets: the personal, the entrepreneur, and the corporate. Where are you at? What's your thing now?
I'm I'm only in the entrepreneurship and the confidence market.
Okay.
And what I realized that for me it was with having a baby. Like my baby is now 20 months old, and
Yes.
with the family, and staying abroad for that many travels, it was not getting feasible.
Okay.
So this year my main focus is on online.
Okay, great.
So very soon we are launching a club. It's
Great.
called a Total Success Club. It should be an
Great.
online community. All of the people
Beautiful.
from all over the world can join.
Yeah.
And where the focus is on helping people everything which I can with them, through their entrepreneurial journey, or their self confidence, or their motivation, or their money management, or the investing part, or adventures. Uh, what else I had? There are, we what we did was, me and my team came up with the 12 pillars that
Great.
we all need to be looking after.
Awesome.
And the confidence and entrepreneurship and investing are a few of those pillars. So what we will be doing, is the Total Success Club. It's a membership program. So we'll be having every person will get a 12-month membership, and during that membership, it's our organization which will look after all the 12 aspects of those people.
Great.
So we will be coming together every month. Plus, we'll be sharing with them some useful tips and techniques, just the models which I told you.
Wonderful.
This sort of model. So those sort of things.
Wonderful.
So that's my
Great.
focus is now for this year.
That's
So we are very soon we are going to launch. So we are working progress on making our website online, and once that is up, we'll be launching that thing very soon.
That's great. Well, you'll be pleased to know that I've got Positivity Hub inside
Oh,
the
wow.
works, and it's a similar thing. It's a membership site, and there's
Oh,
lots
very
of
good.
really great content on there, and a few other things too. And I'm helping other people do it. But with yours, I just think that's fantastic, and it's really important. I really wanted to share you with my community as well. And, if anyone that watched this and relates to you and resonates with you, where can people, before I wrap us up, I've always really appreciated your clarity, Nilesh. If I can just let you know what I want to acknowledge you for, because even when we were studying together, now that would have been what, 2012 or 2013 when we were in Thailand, do you remember?
Yeah, 11 and 12, yeah, six years ago, I guess.
Yeah, wow. And just, your support offline, and when we were in the rooms, we were studying together, your laser clarity. So because your brain compartmentalizes things and you simplify, I have a very flow brain. And, I've got a process control engineering background. I was in that environment, that reverse engineering things. But I saw things in like a continuous stream. And you would help me just segment it. Hang on, break it down, break it down, break it down. So it's, and I've watched that. I've watched how you teach. I've watched how you put things into simple steps for people, and how you break it into small pieces so it's very digestible, and it helps people to feel it's accessible for them, and that they can do it. So, when there's a lot of stuff around success that's really rah-rah, but when you talk about your success steps, it's actually accessible for people. And, I want to acknowledge you for that. And
Thank you.
Your encouragement to me has been really, really valuable along the way. And, the messaging and everything, hey, try this, try that. And even with the positivity stuff, Nilesh, because, people look at the positivity brand and think, oh, it's rah-rah, or it's, euphoric. But actually it's not, because my journey has been from having to work through, a lot of negative environment, negative self-talk, all those things. And so you have to double down on positivity, and you have to dose it every day. So your methods, I keep an eye on your methods and how you modularize everything. So that's why I wanted to introduce you to my community. So
Yeah, I'm
thank
glad
you
we
for,
could make this happen.
yeah, it's great. How could people reach you, and what is it that you wanted to sort of share with people that will see this or hear this podcast and video? Where can they find you, Nilesh?
It's very simple. All the people have to do is, search on the Google with this name, Success
Okay.
Coach Nilesh. They can
Yes.
get everything about me.
Yes.
I do have a website, same, successcoachnilesh.com.
Okay, great.
That's fine.
Very good.
But one good thing, Tanya, because
Yes.
I love the work that you do.
Thank you.
Honestly, uh, the word you say, positivity, it's a very catchy. Plus the thing that you're putting together for the audience, the content you have, it's really really good. And the thing is, as you say, as you mentioned earlier, no, many talk on success. Many people can watch the YouTube videos and think about success, but what really they don't know is, there are certain steps to achieve. Like for example, to enter a house, you have to unlock the door, open the door, step in. Those sort of steps. People in the success arena or the many other speakers or trainers, they talk about the big chunks, and many people think, okay, it's exciting, but it's not really useful.
No, it's not practical.
It's
Okay,
not practical.
okay, there's someone with a $5 million property in California with a helicopter view and the Ferrari. They're fantastic. Now I'm inspired, but how do I do that?
Exactly. And what you need is the first step. What is the first
Exactly.
step you should be taking? And that's where my main focus is,
Yeah, it's
what should be the first
wonderful.
step, what should be the second step, and that's where
Mm,
you go.
yes.
So that's how it is. But one thing, Tanya, for the audience who is especially watching this session,
Okay.
I want
Yes.
to share with them, this book which I have called as 4 Easy Steps to Switch from Job to Entrepreneurship. So
Okay,
this is
hang on.
helpful,
Slow down, slow down. Slow down. So it's four. Share this
easy,
again. Just pull it back a bit. Pull it
four
back a little
easy
bit.
4 easy steps to switch from job to entrepreneurship.
To switch, 4 easy steps to switch from job to entrepreneurship.
Exactly.
Awesome.
Because you
Awesome.
see, there are many people, they are in the job and they want to switch from job to business.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there are mainly three things which stops them. Either they don't have time, or
Mm-hmm.
either they don't have money, or they don't have any good business idea.
Or vision.
uh, exactly, those
Mm.
things. Now what happens, and they hold them back. So when I was thinking, reaching out to the audience, even I can teach them, how the business can grow, how they can start the entrepreneurship journey. But unless and until I solve them the existing problems, they can't go ahead, right? So that's where this book came up. Now
That's
I'm very
great.
happy to share that copy of the book with your audience. Simply they
Thank
have
you.
to go is, they can go to the website and take their free copy.
That's wonderful. I can download that. That's great.
Yes, of course.
Wonderful. Nilesh, thank you. Can we do this again sometime? Or are you doing any other modules or so just before we go, when you do your online stuff, are you doing video based things, or are you doing audio based, or are you doing PDFs and then actually meeting up in groups? So if someone got involved with your program, is it that they meet in a group and then they do some material online? Is that how it would work?
Yes, and then I'll tell you something which is very important, which I feel is the way people access the information.
Mm,
So what I do, I first create a content
mm,
which is audience is looking for and
mm,
which is helpful for them.
mm.
Now I create a video out of that. I
Okay.
create an audio out of
Audio
that. I
and
create
the
a PDF out of that.
transcription.
I
Mhm.
also create
Modules.
PowerPoint or something like that.
Great.
So it depends on how you want to access. Some people
That's
don't
great.
have a background of watching the video. They can just listen to that.
Mm.
So and that has been working very good, because what I realized that there's some people, they don't like reading. They can listen. Some
Mm-hmm.
people don't like listening. They can watch.
Mm-hmm.
And those people who can't watch, they can prefer to read on the mobile phone. So it's
Yes,
working out quite well. So
that's
in my
wonderful.
Total Success Club, I'm putting up content in all formats, whichever they want, they can use.
That's
Ultimately, the real goal is, to learn the information, use the information to, improve the quality of life, and that's it.
mm,
Whichever way you choose, how you want to access that.
fantastic. Well, Nilesh, success coach Nilesh, thank you so much for joining me, Tanya Lacy Online and Positivity Show. And if people would like to find Nilesh, unless you want to hold it up and tell us again where they come to.
Uh, it's my website. But
successcoachnilesh.com.
yeah,
It's
but
good.
very simple thing, Tanya, is people don't even have to log into my website. They can simply Google
Hashtag.
search with that name. Yeah,
Yeah, that's great.
just Google. That's
Very
easy.
good. That's what you're really good at too, is being findable as well, which is great.
Nice. It's easy. It's easy.
Wonderful.
And one more thing, Tanya, I should tell
Yes.
you. Uh, whatever we do in our life or in business, uh, uh, the way I'm bringing it again and again about this positivity, because I see how impactful that is.
Okay. Do you think
Because
I can
doesn't
do? Oh, you think I can be doing better with this, Kent? Do you, Nilesh? You giving me some feedback? Sorry.
no, you're already doing great, honestly. With that, only one thing I will say: don't stop it, because
Okay.
I can see it is evolving, and it's really getting very good, very catchy. Because when now we are in a world where we are constantly getting lots and lots of messages on the phone, emails, and everything, so it's very hard to remember something useful. When you have something with the hashtag positivity, it's very simple to, doesn't matter whatever it is, but just somebody listen to the word or see the word positive, that bring them different thoughts. And that's what I'm on that. Even in this world of constant messages or lots of distraction, your simple positivity things, they're creating a bigger massive impact. So
Thank
keep
you.
good, keep doing that.
Would you? I have actually got the book underway, and can I get you a copy of the manuscript, and you can check it out for me, and maybe write a forward?
I'll be very happy for that.
Would
I'll
you
be
do
very happy
that?
for that.
Okay, great.
Tanya, very, and not because it's you. It's definitely because I'm sure the content that you're going to add there will be amazing. So
Thank you. Thank you.
definitely for that.
Okay,
Sure.
super
Anytime
duper.
you feel like, let me know.
Okay, I will. Thank you, Nilesh. So
Thank you. It's
thank
great
you
to
for
see you.
joining me on the program. Thank you guys for watching and being in our community. Bye for now. And if you'd like to find out more about Nilesh and everything he's up to, you can go to Success Coach Nilesh or hashtag Success Coach Nilesh. Okay, thanks for watching and bye for now.